Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome back. Glad you made it. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. We're doing it on Wednesday, halfway through the week, January the 11th, 2023. Baby boys, baby girls, wherever you are. Hope you're doing well, whether you're in Toronto, whether you're in Canada, down south in the US, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, New Zealand, Australia, all the islands, Japan. What's up, baby boys, baby girls? Let's have some fun today. We are rocking and rolling. We are taking it one teeny tiny baby step at a time. If you've just joined me today, it's your first time. Buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram, on YouTube, on patreon.com/RobSadri. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. And hey, you're like, man, I like to just be behind operations that are independent and moving at a nice rate. Where can I supplement some, stuff? Whether it be, maybe you're like, I wanna diversify my portfolio. Where can I give back to the arts and the farts, if you will? That's patreon.com/RobSadri. That's where you can give back if you like. And if not, there's a whole plethora of videos on the lines on YouTube. There's a catalog, more than 400 videos, and we're just getting started. We're just cooking. So if you've been with me for some time, you're familiar with the program. We talk about everything and nothing under the sun. It is snowing here today in Toronto. It's snowing right now. I can see it. Got a little nice coat covering the city streets. So careful out there if you're driving, if you're walking, if you're rollerblading, if you're skiing, if you're sledding, if you are slipping and sliding, if you have acquired a garbage bag and are using nature and inclines to just roll down to your destination. That's great. How do you get back up the hills though? You can't get back up the hill with a garbage bag. That's something that nature's just like, nah, I'll take you down, but you're gonna have to climb back up yourself. But that's all right, brothers and sisters. We're gathered here today, and it is halfway through the week. I'm feeling much better. Thank you very much for asking. The wisdom tooth is definitely recovering. It's definitely, there's still a little piece of loose gum in the back of my mouth just flapping about. I don't know what to do with it. They say not to touch it, not to play with. I read a little bit briefly a long time ago, when teeth are poking, you're not supposed to play with it with your tongue. You're not supposed to poke around. But that's all I've done. It's like telling somebody not to think about the pink elephant in the room. Am I right, everybody? Am I right, everyone? But the pink elephant happens to be my wisdom tooth. It's nice though. It feels good. Much less pain. Definitely less annoying as it used to be in comparison to Friday evening and Saturday morning. Jeez Louise. But we're moving forward. We're moving forward, baby boys and girls. Good gosh. Good golly. Giraffes, do they have a hard time having sex? Am I right, everyone? Just because I'm thinking about the distance between the old head and the genitals. Oops, wrong hole. My bad. Oh, you say that every time, Clyde. But that's just giraffes, man. That's just giraffes. That's just the animal kingdom. Loud sex. Fish have loud sex, some of the loudest sex. It's incredible. It can actually deafen other mammals, such as dolphins, in sight. So if you see a whole bunch of fish going at it, oh man, these fish are wild. They're having loud sex underwater, but you and I can't probably hear it, or we might, but it's not like deafening to our ears. And that's just a little bit of fish knowledge. That's fish fact number 739. And we keep it random at this facility, at this location, and this time and age. We keep it random, we keep it silly, we keep it all about different things, really. Animals, love animals, gotta give back, gotta take back as well, you know what I mean? Don't give too much, give an inch. Oh, next thing you know, they're all like, chip me up, I wanna be communicating. What, is there more to life than Pong? Yes there is, but, slow it down. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, what is going on in and around this beautiful planet? You know what, it's just a family session today. Let's just talk about you and me and you, and ideas that we're thinking about. Big ideas, small ideas. Let's start with this one. If you had to pick, I'm thinking about this, if you had to pick to get stuck with one mode of speed for walking, would you choose a leisurely walk, a leisurely speed, Would you pick speed walking? That's option B. Or C, would you pick up, let's say, speed of jogging or sprinting really fast? But that's the thing. Once you pick one speed limit, you can't go and be like, oh, I've picked leisurely stroll speed. I'm gonna just, if I feel like speed walking, I'm gonna speed walk today, or I'm gonna sprint to this place. No, if you pick one, that is it till it's like one of those questions. Oh, if you could just only have one meal per lifetime, what meal would you eat? You know what I mean? 69 all day, every day. But that's aside the point. It's more like dessert. But the point is, fam, if you had to pick one mode, okay, let's go through them one by one together. Let's see what the benefits of, let's see if you're a leisurely walker, man. You're that slow walker. What are the benefits of walking slow? Well, first and foremost, you're the type of fellow or lady who'll take a moment or two to smell the roses, to get to know the scenery, what's around you. Is that a butterfly? Is that a new bird? Are you discovering a new species of bird because you're out there bird watching or something? You into birds, fella, lady? But it doesn't matter whether you're into birds or not. You're a leisurely walker. You're walking at a nice slow pace. You get to see what's going on. You might actually have the ability to multitask in a multifaceted world, you go-getter, but at a slow pace. What am I talking about? Oh, I don't know. Are you slurping on a little green juice? Are you sipping on a cup of coffee? Got a cup of coffee in one hand, maybe a joint in the other, and you're having a conversation via them Bluetooth headphones? What's up, daddy? Taking care of business, but at a slow pace. You're not, you've been around the block a few times. If you're leisurely walking at 11:45, although you are actually making others question their lifestyle, like, what's that fella doing leisurely walking at 11:45 in the AM? But that's okay. To each their own. But that's the thing, man. You're not just doing it for yourself. If you're leisurely walking and there happens to be some sort of an accident, some sort of a mugging, some sort of a mishap, an anomaly in societal norms, let's say, you're out there, you're a bystander, but you're not just a bystander, sir, ma'am. You're out there witnessing the scene, what is happening. Somebody's getting mugged. You're taking it all in, or they're driving away in a van, in an unmarked van, and you only got 5 seconds to take the license plates down. You want to take the license plates? You want to write it down? You want to get that photographic memory? Just zoom into that license plate, baby. Do it. And you're like, oh, license plate locked in. Why? Because you're a leisurely walker. That's why. You got that nice slow pace. Everybody else is too busy speed walking or running, but we'll come back to those. But you got the license plate. You might just see somebody, you might see an old lady getting mugged. You'll be able to see it as everybody else is too busy going about their day. You're multifaceted, multi-talented, doing it out there, walking, cigarettes, joints, Slurpees, a whole conversation, and also being a witness to a potential mugging. And that's the thing. You can be like, you're the person that can be relied upon when people come. You can be like somebody. You can be the person that yells out, somebody's getting mugged, help, call 911. You're that person helping society. You're not just out there for yourself, And you're the type of fellow or lady who, once the crime happens, you'll be able to be there for the 6 o'clock news. Once the media arrives, once the 911 and emergency services arrives, you can be the person that we all get to see at 6 o'clock on the night. Could you give us a description of what happened? There was a lady getting mugged and so on. Did you try to help? No. It's not your fault, though, because once we've vetted you and we got to know you, you're a good human being overall. But you're walking at a leisurely pace. You're not the type of fellow or lady who's gonna be assisting in the capturing of the assailant, let's say. You're the fellow who notices. You're the fellow or lady who remembers. You're there to corroborate a story. You're there to, depict what others may have missed. Sure, you may have been a little bit slower before, but look at all the info you got now coming in handy. Oh, everybody else was just a little bit too fast, a little bit too curious, but you're like, I'm gonna take it slow. I wanna walk leisurely like a little turtle. Take my time. But thanks to your clarification, now we know what's going on, man, because we heard you, lady, on the 6 o'clock news, giving us a description of this, the assailant. What was he wearing? The 5'11" and a half, 5 and 11 and a half and 3/4, wearing a cap on his head, and it was cap had stripes, you might say, and was it even a cap? Was it a mask that was rolled up? I don't know. It was like, but he still, he was wearing a blue denim jacket, denim on denim. He was wearing denim on denim. He was wearing denim jackets, denim jeans that are denim jeans, and then leather chaps on top. Everything else, jeans, denim hat, a denim cowboy hat with stripes, because I did say stripes as well. Yes, and you're there telling this story, but we wouldn't notice it if it wasn't for you. So thank you. If you want to pick that speed of, but that's the thing. You only get one mode of speed, baby. You're not the type. That's the thing. If there was only you and you only. And we're like, man, I wish somebody could, instead of just report on this old lady getting, I wish somebody could step in, intervene before something drastic happened. But at least you're doing something. You're calling out. You're like, 911, call the emergency. You're that person. You're noticing things. I like that. But everything has its pros and cons. But let us move forward to the next mode of speed. If you were to pick speed walking, and I'm not just talking about like walking faster, I'm talking straight up fucking elbows tucked in. We're speed walking, babe. We're speed walking. You know what I'm talking about? Like elbows tucked in, fucking booty out. We're speed walking. Speed walking. Speed walking. Fast, dude, around the block. Around speed walking. In the mall, speed walking to the office. You're next level. You're that's the thing. You're not the type to you're not the type of fella, work needs to be done today. You're not the type that'll leave it for tomorrow. You're tackling it today. You're speed walking and talking. You don't have time for green juice or coffee. You're speed walking, making schedules, arriving at appointments, canceling appointments. And that's the thing, man. You catch somebody getting mugged or robbed, you might not be there to witness it because you're speed walking, baby. You might not be so observant as our previous fella or lady, but nonetheless, you could be the person that's potentially chasing the assailant away. Mind you, in particular scenarios, of course, if they are, let's say they're not too fast. If they're not too fast, you've already got that built-in stamina, baby. You're like the marathon runner of walking, traveling speeds across the spectrum. You can go long distance, baby. You're not a sprint. You don't have speed on you. And if this person's like Speedy, if this person's Speedy Gonzalez, you're not catching up. But if he's like a little bit slower, if she's a little bit slower, physically or mentally, it doesn't matter. We're not discriminating. People with disabilities could be doing crime. You never know, dude. It's always like, that's another thing too. Don't be judgmental like that. Always thinking, no, it could be anybody. But if they're a little bit slower, physically, mentally, it doesn't matter. You could, and they're going long distance. Let's go. You're speed walking. You got the stamina. You got once that lactic acid kicks in for them, they're burning. Oh man. The knees, the joints, the hips, the thighs, the inner thighs, the outer thighs. Once that lactic acid builds up in the labia, oh man, once that lactic acid builds up in the testicles, son, you're just getting warmed up because you're a speed walker. With the elbows, with the sharp elbows, speed walking. You're rocking and rolling, but that's, if they're not speedy, if they're not quick-witted. That's great, man. You can give assistance. There's somebody help. Speed walking to the assistance right there. But, again, everything has its benefits. Everything has its downfalls. We do have sprinting mode as well. Option number C. Option number C is, man, you're a sprinter, you're a jogger, okay? There's no way in hell you're stopping for fruit juice, for green juice, for a cig or a joint or a phone call. If you wanna have a conversation, you got to be able to keep up. We're going today, every day. It gets tiring. It's really tiring just being around you. If you picked, that's the thing. It is, man, you can get things done. You're the type of fellow or lady that gets things done. But you are very difficult to be around. First of all, you're not easy to find because you're always just sprinting back and forth here and there. You're trying to have a conversation. Billy over here, oh, Billy, oh, he's gone. Gone, where'd he go? Sprinting. That's Billy. You know what I'm saying, man? But that's the thing. It is, you're probably, I'll say it, man, I'll say this. If you actually, that's the thing, there's people don't think about, I've thought about this for a long, this is what I do with my time. Think about these important issues. If you picked sprinting and jogging for your mode of like speed, you're insane. You're crazy. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not biased here at all whatsoever. But if we were to be like, which speed for lifetime, that's the only mode of for life. Think about that. Okay, just like you like, oh, I'll take pizza for the rest of my that's a meal. We're talking speed of walking and traveling. If you had to if you were only capable of sprinting, and you couldn't even like take a break for like, think about that, right? Think about it. You'd be like, oh, I want to get things done quick, but all day, every day, even to the shortest, like you want to just like go to the fridge, you're sprint to the fridge, dude. Oh, I want to just walk into the just go to the elevator, sprint to the elevator. Oh, I want to do groceries, sprint to the grocery store. You're never there for your kids. You're never there for your wife. You're never there for your husband, for your mother, your dad, your niece, nephew, because you're always just go, unless they're also speedy with you. But that's, man, if that runs in the family, bunch of psychos. Am I right? Think about that again. This is not just like, oh, it'd be cool to be speedy all the time. That's the thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to, but I just want to warn you, it does come with benefits and it does come with downsides. Again, are you neglectful? Of course, because you're always on the go. But need be, somebody's in a scenario, let's say in the early AMs or PMs, let's say somebody's again getting mugged. Well, leisurely speed here is not going to get it done. He or she can only call for help. Help! 911s! I'm a leisurely speed person. I can't go any faster. Is there anybody faster than me? And guess what? Our speed walker is out to lunch. Why? Because the fella that's the assailant, he's not a walker or a speed walker. As a matter of fact, he's a sprinter himself. So now you're gonna have to be like, you're the person that we're gonna have to count on. And in those scenarios, although sometimes we look at you and we're like, man, why? Why doesn't he just stop? Why doesn't she just stop? Middle of winter, sprinting. Well, you come in handy. You two are beneficial to society. So what you're doing is not just beneficial for you. You're the person that we'll call on when things are going, oh, grandma's getting mugged. You might be too fast to even realize that it's actually your grandma getting mugged, man. Think about that, because you're always on the go. You don't even notice it. You ran by it. You didn't even notice it. But somebody's like, oh, help, somebody's grandma's getting mugged. But you're already on it. I'm on it, running. Fast, running. All you gotta do is just be yourself. Elbows out, just be yourself. Knocking assailants down left, right, and center with the elbows. I'm a sprinter, man. I'm a sprinter, lady. Because you gotta put it to use. It just can't be for show. You can't just be showing it off. I got great stamina long distance. And I'm fast, too. God, put it to use. But that's the thing, that's the beauty of it. It doesn't matter which mode you pick, although again, if you do pick sprinting and running and jogging as your mode of speed, you're clinically insane, all right? If you pick that answer, this was a whole test. If you've picked jogging and or sprinting for your rest of life speed, you are mad. But again, you're our psycho. You're our lovable, crazy kook out there sprinting around everywhere. Take it easy there, fella. Maybe we need a few of those, but the rest of us can just leisurely walk and maybe speed walk. All of a sudden, the speed walk doesn't look too bad, does it? Just saying, man, think about all these things. These are important issues. After all, ladies and gents, it is Wednesday, and we're doing it Wednesday time. Boys and girls, what else is going on in and around this beautiful world? A lot of things, of course, but let us stay focused. Let us stay on track with what's going on here between us What other ideas are you guys and gals thinking about? Anybody else think that we should start making airplanes all see-through? Am I right, everyone out there? Who's thinking the same ideas? See-through airplanes. Are you sick and tired of getting into tin cans and not being able to see your surroundings? Yuck! Makes me want to gag. As a matter of fact, I do gag every time I get close to an airplane that is all tin, no see-through. I'm all like gagging. Why? Why should we continue on this way? It is 2023. I said we keep the ones that we've got because obviously we're not the type of society that's all like, man, frivolous spending. Let's just get these one brand new see-through airplanes. We'll have airplanes that are see-through, new batch of see-through airplanes, and also friggin' old school metal cans up in the sky are cool too until they're like done, until they hit a certain number of kilometers traveled, altitudes are reached, and if your attitude, and if your altitude, latitude, gratitude, stay grateful. Stay grateful because the things we do have are great, but we got to make them better. See-through airplanes for everybody. First of all, the view that you'll get for the people that are riding this airship, just, levels of the game now changed. We're now, oh, what is below me? Oh my God, don't look down. Everybody's like throwing up. Initially, we will have a lot of flights carrying passengers that are just projectile vomiting into each other's faces, and let's face it, that is a joy to watch. If you're participating in it, it's cool too. It is, do it. It'll take some time. We'll get adjusted. We'll get closer. Build stronger immunity systems, really, if you think about it. And I'm just saying, but once we get, a couple of years goes by, everybody's like now cool with it. Now you can like ride a nice see-through ship plane and just sit there and be like, oh man, it's nice to at least get some view, you know what I mean? It's not like they're doing us any favors with the space thing. Can we make these things a little bit bigger? Just a wee bit bigger. Okay, and generally speaking, humans, we're now, let's make them a little, stretch out these bad, or is it all physics and science and math? You're like, that's as big as we can, no leg room at all. Thousands of dollars, not an inch of leg room. And not even see-through. So I'm just saying, see-through airplanes, and also make it, not just is it beautiful for the passengers and also the pilots, you get to see everything below you. People below you will also be able to look up, and that's nice. That's nice. And men and women alike, do you have a desire to moon people? Well, like, do it like you're not doing it. You know what I mean? Again, assless chaps, great for airplanes, put on a show, voyeurism, giving back to society. Everybody's having a ball. We're like, no man, I want to just keep my things to myself, and that's cool too, but I'm just saying, if you were into it, and if you were also into viewing it, how cool would that be? Oh man, what is that? You know what it is. Quit staring if you're not liking it, but if you're liking the show, keep watching. Point is, fam, that we gotta do better. We gotta do better, and we're making it way too easy for these birds to distinguish our planes. Am I right, everyone? Am I right, everyone? The sea eagles going into the jet engines because there's like right there in front of them. I say we've been nice enough in keeping it, we keep the airplanes like different colors, shades. You see the jet. What if we go clear on all throughout the whole like airplane, spaceship, airship? All right, now they know. We've given them enough time to like be like, oh, this is a airplane engine. I'm not gonna flub it. Time and time again, we see birds going into airplane engines. It's like, now it's time to, you know what it is, baby. We're going translucent, and if you can't play along with these games. Night, night, birds. Night, night. Birds. Birds just flying into translucent airplane engine. You're like, why? Because that's what's up. Because we want to have a little bit of fun. Because we want to... Man, I actually think about this far long enough. You know, I did, but like there's a little bit of a problem. Like just 'cause, like, you know, birds won't be able to see us, but like also we might not be able to see us. But radars, fam, I don't need to see you, fam. I don't need to see you to see you. You feel me? I don't need you to see you to see. I don't need you to see you to see. No, you need to see you. You need to see you, man. Lady, you know who you are out there. You know what your worth is. You need to see the real you, man. We're not talking about that. We're talking about translucent airplanes, man. Ladies, if we are not able to see each other, we're not just like, we're in the future now. I don't need to look at you. I can look at the radar and be like, oh, beep, 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 beep. Let's go to the old let's just switch lanes over here. We're just gonna switch lanes. Because guess what? Radar's indicating Jeff is doing the old, Jeff is coming inbound from West Coast. I gotta just watch out on the radar. But it's nice. And then all you see is people. Actually, it'd be really dope, come to think of it. It'd be really just to see people tech and everything in the plane is translucent, like including the seating, everything, the seat belts, everything. We're going translucent so all you see in the sky is just people essentially like in a sitting posture. How dope is that? Translucent pilots, dude. As far as pilots, yeah, translucent pilots. Let's go with that too. Because like, how wild would it be to like feel secure and confident knowing someone's in the cockpit but not being able to see them? And I don't want to be like, let's just go fucking autopilot and automation. No. I want a translucent pilot. I still want somebody in there. Flight attendants, the flight crew, translucent. Let's go. I don't want to see it. It's the 2023s. Okay, fine. If it should be up to them. It should be up to them. But I'm just because like, obviously, like it's your right to do what you will with your body. But at least when it comes down to I'll compromise. You give a little, you give a little, right? You give a little, you take a little. I'm putting ideas out there. Think about it. How dope is that? Just be like, oh, bums in the sky. Putting it out there, fam. It's time we made it happen. Just like, let's do it. Let's put our minds and hearts on this passion project and make it work. Boys and girls, ladies and gents. What a delightful day to be alive. Kicking it amongst the peepsies. Doing it big, doing it small, doing it medium. Man, oh man, ladies and gents. Boys and girls. Boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies with labias. Fellas with wrinkled ball sacks. This is your show. Do you have wrinkles on your nut sacks? This is your show. Are you in charge of your labia? This is your show. This is for you. Baby boys, baby girls. Man, oh man. Not gonna lie to you, I completely lost the trail of my thought, but that happens to the best of us. And we're just gonna sit here for a minute. For a second. Not a whole minute. Just a few seconds. Just a few seconds. Maybe we'll move on to the next topic as I try to start thinking about the topic that I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about something else. Like the fact that I saw a video online depicting a man impersonating cops on the lines, which was hilarious, but also like, fella, what are you doing? But it did make me laugh. There's a fella online, I've seen this video. Apparently, he's pretending to be on a cop car. I'm sorry, on a cop motorbike. A motorcycle for cops. A cop motorcycle. He's on one of these things, flashing his lights, going beep bop beep boop in traffic. And he's stopping traffic, he's guiding traffic. I think he's like guiding traffic to or from a funeral home or service. And people are like low-key catching on to him. I think they've already caught on to him. I don't even know if it's real, dude. I just saw a person on the lines impersonating a cop, which was hilarious because you saw the interaction between the fellas. Like one of the guys like rolled down his window, like, you're not a real cop, this isn't right. He's like, why don't you call? 911s, or like, it was really weird, but it was really funny at the same time. That's somebody actually, like, I think did that. That's bonkers. Because the repercussions of that is, man, you know what I mean? What if, like, what if, like, what if you were like, oh, I'm a cop, and there's like, and you don't know like how to be a cop because you're not a cop, and you go there and you're like, I'm a cop, and like it's just like you don't even know. You just roll up to like gangbangers gang banging hard on a corner streets, and regular cops have a relationship with the gang bangers. They know how to like operate the gang banging, and because at the end of the day, you got to learn to communicate with members of your community. But you're just rolling up in there impersonating. You're like, oh, I just like tell these gang bangers to like mosey on down the street. These streets are my streets, and they're everyone's streets. But you don't just say, again, it's all about how you conduct. You don't just go beep beep, I'm the police. You get over here or there, especially if you're not the police, dude. Man, you're putting yourself and others in a whole lot of unknowns. Whole lot of what's gonna happen next. But it is crazy, man. People do that. People have always impersonated other people. That's how we learn sometimes. Maybe he's passionate. I don't know his story. I don't know this fella. I just saw one video. But maybe he's got a passion for really becoming like a cop, but he can't do it for some reason. Like, I don't know what his deal is, but I'm not telling you to not like chase dreams. I'm a dream chaser myself. You know what I'm talking about? But like, you can do it, man. You can do whatever. Like, I'm not saying do that, but like there was an incident some other time ago, a little while back, where there was a fella, I think he was like practicing medicine, going into a hospital, like conducting, being in operation rooms or some shit. Forget the whole story, but it was something along those lines where somebody was pretending to be a doctor while they were like not a doctor. So is that, are we to say, maybe that's what it is, man. Maybe you got the passion for it, you're just not going about it. You're like, I don't want to do schooling, but I do want to be operating. Or you're like, I want to be a cop, but like I don't want to get trained. I know how to cop. You think copping is easy? You think being a police officer is easy? You're like, I've seen enough chases. I've been chased enough. Maybe through your younger days, you were on the receiving end. You're like, I've seen how it's done. I'll do it myself. Just saying, man, people are wild. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, let's say you've had the dream of micromanaging and macromanaging. Let's say you've had the dream of micromanaging, and you're like, man, I really want to micromanage. I really want to micromanage. How do I micromanage? Do I need to be small to micromanage? Doesn't hurt, but it's not a prerequisite. It is not a prerequisite. If you want to micromanage, it's definitely helpful if you're smaller stature. If you're a small statured person, you want to micromanage. It's not about it's not about your size, because you could be like a big person, but like the energy that you put out there is like petite. It's like it doesn't like empty a room out. You could potentially micromanage, Are you willing to, maybe you're a big fella, you're like, man, I'm a bigger fella. Robbie Rob, you're like, Robbie Rob, I'm a bigger fella, and I'm calling in to see how I can achieve my dream of micromanaging. I'm a bigger fella, I weigh 350 pounds. I've become one with the couch, but I've got a passion for micromanaging. Here, let's try this, shall we? Owen, let's say, are you willing to go on a diet? Are you willing to get your tubes tied? Your intestines tied? Are you willing to get some tied? Are you willing to put on a tie? Are you willing to tie the knot? Are you willing to, do just like as long as we know if you want to microwave, as long as like what like, you are you trying to like just shrink it down just a little bit so that you could like because micromanaging, although it's not about size doesn't matter. It does, but like it doesn't. If you want to micromanage and you're big, just a notch, just take it down a notch, and you can starting because a lot of people don't even start. That's the whole problem. Who can start? Ideally, man, babies, great for micromanaging. They're like built for micromanaging, tiny things, really. Great for micromanaging, and like a lot of time people age, a lot of time and society looks down on them, because people age and they start shriveling up. 125 years old, shriveled up, just a prune of a person, bag of wrinkles, just a deflated beanie bag with poor eyesight, really. You know, but that doesn't mean they can't micromanage. If anything, they're be great at micromanaging because they too are getting smaller. Think about it. You know, where can you micromanage? How can you micromanage? Start small. Start with like the smallest stuff. What's the smallest thing you can? What is Don't be like don't go be like I'm a micromanage atoms, super small. Like don't be getting like that's takes years to get to that level of micromanagement. But like start with like other stuff like items that are easily carry, like items that weigh less than 30 pounds. If you can carry 30, you can micromanage 20 pounds easy. Thing is like if it fits in your hands, you'll be great for. Do you have hands? You'll be great at micromanaging or managing. But that doesn't mean, again, if you're bigger and you're like, man, it's too late for me now, I can't micromanage. Don't let it be a hindrance to your dreams. Now, macromanaging on the opposite hand of the spectrum, macro managing. Do I need to be big? Do I need to be big to macro manage or macro manage? Again, very similar to micromanaging, not a necessity, but it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt, fella, if you now the switching of the tables has taken place. Now the shoe's on the opposite side of the foot. You switch shoes. Now the gloves fit. Guilty if the gloves fit. A good analogy for your weight corresponding to your goals and passions. Macro managing, my beautiful friend who's large. You'd be great at it. First of all, if you're like, let's say 450 pounds, great at macro, dude. Big things, big people, macro managing, doing big things. If it's big, you can manage it. Is it a table? Managed. Cars? Big. Managed. Macro. Think bigger. Ships. It's your world, baby. You're a macro person. Because a lot of people don't even know like where to get started sometimes. Or like, how do I? I've read the books, I've attended seminars. How do I become a micro or macro, or can I even do both? Can I be a bi-menage? I don't even know, dude. Maybe. I don't know. Do they even exist? Where you're microing and you're macroing. I don't even know, dude. Maybe you can be the first. Point is, that's advanced. We'll come up with that. Like that program is for like I haven't even thought about developing that program yet. It's in the works. It'll be provided for you in due time. But the thing is, macro, like big fish industry, dude. Whales, big fish, moving big fish. It's your thing. What other things are giant? So you can bulldozers, any really big construction equipment, macro managing. Once again, these are fields that you'd be great at. If you're small statured, I'll tell you that. If you're small statured and you're like, man, this seems to be like a game for the big boys and the big gals. very similar as to the big fella, larger fella who wants to dabble in micro, who had to go, are you willing to take stuff? Because this fella here he was getting it tied. He was tying a tie. He was, are you willing to go the distance? Are you willing to take some supplements and get yourself a little bit big? Are you willing to bulk up a little bit? Are you willing to get on steroids? Are you willing to take performance enhancing drugs? Are you willing to, instead of getting something tied, are you open to loosening something up? We've never talked about that. Anybody want to loosen up something, like, eat more, loosen it up. A lot of people go get surgery just to tighten it up. Do you ever loosen it up? Maybe you need to loosen it up. You know what I mean? Just the gaping hole of you just shoving food in there. Gotta get big. Macro. All about the management. But I see the desire and passion and the fire in your eyes, and I'm a big believer of chasing those dreams. So yes, is it possible? And it's not sometimes, you're like maxed out in terms of size. Again, it's about energy. If you come in the room, just, go be like, I'm a smaller fella or lady, but I give off energy and I'm an energy conductor. I'm an energy producer. You're a producer. Okay? So it's immense amounts of, it's like you're a little nuclear bomb there. You're in a little teeny tiny itty bitty fella, lady, but big in terms of energy. And that's how you can achieve macro. You're not big, but you're macro, managing. Great stuff. Baby boys, baby girls. Why do we call it armed robberies? I've never in the history of humanity have ever heard of a story or come across a thief who was armless. Armed robberies. Reporting on an armed robbery. Armed robberies. It's a moot point. Why do we even say it? It's like talking about legged runners. A legged runner. So as if you need to disclose that the runners have legs. These legged runners have got them legs. They be legged. Yeah, I know, they're runners. Armed robberies. It would be fascinating to see somebody do some robbing and thieving without an arm or two, a one-armed robber. That'd be something you can disclose. A one-armed robber robbed half the store because he's only got one arm. Lucky for you, you got half your stuff left. The other half, there's insurance. Hopefully you've got insurance. But that's just that's the wording in society, man. Sometimes you're like, it's so embedded inside you, you don't even realize the things that are contradictory out there. Just saying, boys and girls, ladies and gents. I would love to see somebody without an arm rob anything. Try it. Is there somebody who doesn't have arms who's the best? That would actually low-key be a really good distraction, because you would never expect an armless person to be a thief, a jewel thief, a jewel thief, dude. Maybe it's just no arms, no legs, and you're like, this person can't be a thief. All they do, dude, is oh my God, if you're out there, if you don't have arms and legs, this program's for you right here, right now. If you can do 6 months to a year of training and really getting a hold of your anus in terms of being in charge of the muscle itself, I would assume. If you could pick stuff up with it, really quick, you go to a diamond show, a diamond exhibit show, jewelry exhibit show, and go there with a buddy or a person and ask them to pick you up from your chair, your wheelchair, place you on top of the glass display, and then just be like, hey, can I see that one? Ask your friend to, because you can't point obviously, but ask your friend, be like, hey, can we see this one right here? And point out to a few other ones. And that's the thing, dude. All your friends got to do is pick you up, and you're wearing, again, they don't see the bottom of your pants or what's going on down there. And you're in charge of your anus, and your friend's like, what do you think about that one? What do you think about this one? Oh, let's go, what do you think about that one? Other side. And then meanwhile, you're just like shimmying little by little, right? And just like placing your butt on the diamond, pink diamond. Where'd it go? I don't know. Oh, well, see you later. Thank you for showing us all your diamonds. And boom, the fella's putting this thing away, lady's putting the other thing away. Where's the pink diamond? And no one's the wiser. Why? Because you're in charge of your asshole, man. Lady, think about that. Let it sink in. You know? Years of practicing living with a prolapsed anus. Now it is mighty handy. Although you're armless. We did go like ahead and we got rid of your whole limbs essentially for this scenario, but still putting it out there that you could put it to use, just like, oh, he's, you know, and that's okay. If you get caught, dude, nobody's gonna be like, oh, that person's gonna have to do like hard time, dude. Like, we get it. I get it. If I had a jewelry store and I got robbed by a person missing all limbs, that's what I'm talking about. How crazy of a story is that? But you don't hear about that, do you? They get away with it because no one's even paying attention. We're like, that person couldn't be a thief. You totally can. You totally can. If you're out there like, man, I wish I could. It's still not late. Still not late. It's really about your passion and desire to go get. Do you have that go-getter attitude? Okay? Think about that. Baby boys, baby girls, ladies and gents, it is Wednesday. I'm feeling very blessed, feeling amazeballs, taking it real slow, nice and slow. Steady pace, we're learning, we're growing, and I'm very, if I can for a moment, I know we do come in here and try to make each other laugh and think about everything else that's in and around this beautiful world. But for 1 minute, I will be serious. Just in less than a minute. For less than a minute, I'm extremely thankful for, man, I know it may sound a little bit cheesy, but it's true, man. I'm really thankful for finding this and getting to, you know, chase a dream of sorts. It is my dream to become a professional stand-up comedian, and I really have, you know, without being so directly, because I'm not connected to the comedians or, you know, stand-up comedy world, even though, you know, I'm very grateful is what I'm trying to say. Emotional stuff. I'm very grateful because I get to see a lot of great dudes and ladies just be killing it on all sorts of different levels, and I look at you guys and gals out there, and it's just like, oh man, it's really heartwarming, and I thank you because, yeah, before, you know, 2 years and some time ago, I didn't even know this was something that I could pursue, or, you know, so it's just like, oh man. And yeah, there's definitely things to be learning, and I'm very appreciative of what I'm doing. Very, you know, I'm just taking it one little teeny tiny step at a time, but I'm very appreciative of anybody who's paved the way in the past, who's doing it right now. Thank you guys and girls, ladies out there, whoever's doing it, you know who you are. And yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. Whatever else you're doing, oh my God, I'm so emotional, God. Get it together. Get it together. Boobies. There it is. Now we're queefing together. Now you got me emotional. Now you're letting the guards down. We never had any guards up, you say, from the beginning. Gosh. You know what, baby boys and girls, it is a journey, and I'd like to thank everybody else out there as well. Thank you again if you're viewing these videos on the lines, if you're, you know, allowing me to be in your space and your mind and your heart. Thank you very much for all the love and support. Just trying to put, you know, laughs out there if I could, and I'm again trying to learn, do the best that I can. Thank you guys and gals for checking out the videos. They're here every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. Where can you find them? Once again, on YouTube, on Instagram, on patreon.com/RobSadri. Here for you guys every week, and one little teeny tiny baby step at a time. Rock and roll. And I'll see you guys back here again on Friday. Love y'all. Peace out.